Hello everyone, and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy, and I will be with you for the show today. And we are starting off at the beautiful Lentor in Kenya, where a waterbuck has come to the waterhole, as well as what looked to be a lilac-breasted roller that was popping down to the water there. It really does always capture me, this location. It's so beautiful with the reflection today of the clouds and the sky. Now, remember, everyone, that this is a live and interactive show, so please do make sure that you send your comments and questions through to me. I would love to hear from you, and you can do that through the Wild Earth app or the website. You can also chat to me in the YouTube chat stream. Just remember to use that FC if you'd like to make sure that those comments and questions come through to me, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag Wild Earth. Now, if you did take note, that waterbuck that walked past there didn't have a white ring around its rump. And the species of waterbuck in East Africa, actually identical to the one in the southern parts of Africa, but just doesn't have that ring. Um, their genetics have let this specific subspecies for this area not have the ring around their backside, which is a fascinating difference, but one that is worth taking note of. I don't know where that roller disappeared to, but it seems like it is somewhere in the tree there. Anyway, that was a lovely, lovely start. Let's head over to Safari Hook. Well, quite a contrasting scene here, as we are up in a much drier area of Namibia. And you can see that some antelope are approaching for a drink. There's a springbuck there at the moment, and that looks like a red hartebeest that's making its way towards the water as well. It does just look like an extremely hot day today, doesn't it? And I just saw that black stork was actually sitting with its mouth open before it began preening there. Another sign of the heat that is here around the waterhole. And I have just checked, it's 37 degrees here in the Etosha region today. So absolutely hot, hot, hot. Mercedes, hello. Thank you for always saying hi to us, and we appreciate having you here with us today. This hartebeest seems to be focusing on something. I don't know what it's spotted or think it's spotted. You see how it's contracting its diaphragm like that or around the stomach area? I wonder if it's alarm calling or at least trying to exhale through its nose, which sometimes is how these antelopes alarm call. I don't know if it's seen anything or, like I say, if it just thinks it's seen something. But it stopped dead in its tracks there. It definitely is contracting its stomach like that to exhale quickly, sort of push out air. I wonder if we can look slightly more to the right. Maybe there is something there that would be interesting to see, perhaps a predator. So Tadi was directing us. Apparently, there were lions in the area here last night. I mean, it is a possibility, especially if they're just resting in the shade. It is hot, so I don't imagine they'll be doing too much. It also is difficult to see. The springbuck doesn't look too bothered. Maybe the hartebeest picked up on the scent of something. But what I think, if the lions are here resting in the shade, which could very well be the case, they're probably not interested in anything, and that's why these, this springbuck anyway is feeling very comfortable. It is also tricky to see between all these sort of sticks in the background. Oh, now it's looking as well. It's definitely seen something.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On Safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our Wild Earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
A terrible smell. Like hyenas, you get a stench from them. Wild dogs, you get a really strong scent from them as well. But I haven't noticed with lions and leopard any sort of really bad smell unless, it's their scat or you're around a carcass. And I imagine if those predators had eaten or hadn't quite done all their grooming yet, they would also carry that smell with them, which then prey animals could pick up on. But part of their hunting strategy is to really stalk and ambush their prey, and part of that also is being able to be undetected through scent. Oh, exciting. Let's head over to Stony Point for a mom Dussie and her babies. Oh, this is very cute. I think they've come to suckle. Oh, we were spoiled last week with these babies suckling more in the crevices and not from the front side, and they were using the sort of back teats rather than the front ones. So this is just fantastic to have them out in the open like this. Oh, there's the third one. I was hoping the third one was still around. Ari, hello, you're watching from the Netherlands and you say that is always so cute. I mean, it really is. Anything baby, let's be honest, is really cute, but out in the wild we are spoilt with so many little ones at this time of the year, and they can be so adorable. this is just so adorable. Lionel, you want to know if she can carry the babies around, like on her back or in her teeth. I can't say that I've seen a Dussie doing that before. It is possible that they do that, perhaps to help the little ones, especially when they're very small still. So Dussies are interesting in that they have quite a long gestation period for the size animal that they are. A full adult is no bigger than a small dog, really. And they have a gestation of about 8 to 9 months, which is very long. But the babies are born fully developed. They can run around and jump and get going immediately. So, because of their ability when they are born, I don't think she would really need to carry them. However, should there be a case between the rocks, maybe that she needs to help one or one can't get up a certain area, I have no doubt that she could possibly carry from behind the head, the scruff of the neck sort of thing, like we even saw with mongooses doing that. And if you had asked me a few days ago if mongoose would carry their little ones around, I'd probably say, well, they can move quite a lot already, so why would they need to do that? But there you go. It's definitely a possibility. So I can't rule it out. It's not something that I've seen before, but I do think they would have that capability if they needed to do it. Look at that little face. It's just too adorable. And I love their little feet as well. They've got these sort of toe-like feet, also actually grouped as a near ungulate. So, not a fully hoofed animal. Actually, the only other animal that I'm aware of grouped with an elephant in Africa is a near ungulate. And they are super cute little feet. Almost also got a cushy pad underneath, and you can see the toes there. It looks like it almost doesn't even want to go into the sun. It's a bit too hot. enjoying the shade now. Dassies are, they just love the sunshine. So to see them actually looking for some shade just goes to show exactly how hot probably is there. But what's nice along the coast is that there's always a beautiful coastal breeze. So maybe also the little ones are a little bit more sensitive to the sunshine. It's something about the nose and mouth for me that makes it really adorable. I think it's just sort of this big head, and then it just sort of comes to this point around the nose. Maybe it's sheltering more from the wind than the sun, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. We know that in the Western Cape, the wind can howl. Oh, well, let's head over to Tau for some Ellie energy. I know that we all really enjoy an elephant during the show, and I thought let's come and have a look at this big boy that's doing some mud wallowing at the moment. Oh, look at that. Now he's creating some dust with his feet there.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our wild earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Well, it looks like this elephant has finished his mud wallow, dust bath, and a rubbing post time. He may end up actually just standing there and resting. We've seen them do that, or move into the thickets to start feeding. While he does that, though, let's head back over to Safari Hook. And we have some beautiful gemsbok once again here. And this individual's also looking in that same area that hartebeest. I think there's lions lying in the shade, probably deep in the thickets. But to have multiple species now stop and look. Maybe they're also all not lying together. So you've got sort of one individual in the shade in one spot, and then there might be another somewhere else, especially if there's very limited shade. Um, Jono, it really depends. So I've seen lions attempt to hunt around a waterhole. I have seen them do it successfully and not successfully. Sometimes they use the water to their advantage to actually get the animal in and hold them down to drown them. The lions on Juma have done that before with a buffalo. It was terrible to see. I actually wasn't live in that sighting, but I saw it in the replay of that, and it was just I think some of you viewers would actually remember that. I think Cedric was there live with that happening, and it was just, oh, that was not enjoyable to watch, but so important, and I guess part of nature out here can be very cool. But in terms of how hard they will try very hard if they are hungry or if the opportunity is there for them. There are other times, like maybe today, these lions are resting. Maybe their tummies are full, it's hot, and they have absolutely no reason to try and hunt any of these prey species around you, especially when they are aware of their presence. And these springbuck have, well, are trying to find the very little shade that I think is actually available in this area. Um, they, well, one at least is ruminating there. The one standing is also sort of looking in, I don't know though, it seems to also just be resting. The gemsbok are obviously on the far side of the waterhole, but there's something that these animals that's caught their attention. If we do go pan around back slowly, there was one point that I saw something quite tawny lying somewhere. Let's just check carefully. It is also difficult, but because of the heat, these sort of heat waves come off the ground and sometimes distort the image. It almost looks like it's moving the air, but the land, sorry, but it's actually just the heat forming waves coming off the land. I do apologize for a pesky leaf that is coming into our picture. I really do want to spot this predator now, or what I think could be a lion or lions that are lying here. Oh, lovely. Well, we are going to keep checking here carefully, everyone. And while we do that, let's head up to Old Donio for some giraffe. Ah, it is so beautiful here. It's gotten so green. And quite a cloudy sky today. And these two have come for a drink. Well, we've had to come back over to Tau, where there is a small herd of elephants who have arrived here. Oh, is that a jackal? There's a jackal running behind the female elephant. There we go. Off it goes. Oh, it's running very fast now. That's cool. That was a little surprise. And although generally classified as a crepuscular or sort of dusk and dawn active animal, they can be out and about in the heat of the day. I've seen it multiple times, and that was exactly what we saw there. And these impalas must be careful with their babies. I don't see any lambs here just yet. But after my experience with the jackals at Mabula hunting a blessbuck baby, I won't quite look at a jackal the same way again. Oh wow, it is really turning into an elephant kind of day, and giraffe by the looks of things. We've come across here to Okakuyo and just have a look at this beautiful scene.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tony Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our Wild Earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Structures with all the animals that we see, you know, elephants have remained in their social groupings and have chosen that for various reasons. And I think part of that is their emotional intelligence as well, and how family orientated they are, especially the females with their youngsters. But when it comes to the males and these bulls, we do see them sometimes completely on their own, but we do see them meet up in groups and form bachelor herds. And that is something that I think speaks to the fact that they don't want to be completely on their own and they enjoy others' company. So, although, yes, it would be an adjustment to no longer be with their family, original natal herd, they still do end up, if they have a choice, to be able to find other bulls and hang out with them, sometimes on quite a permanent basis, but sometimes also just temporarily. And what I've also noticed today is that there's no hippo here. So I don't know if it was chased out. I didn't see this elephant do that. But it probably didn't come back last night. Ari, it was definitely drink and pool time for the Ellies, and now this one has moved on to lunchtime as well. Lionel, to answer your question, yes. There are effects of too many artificial waterholes around, and it's actually a problem that the effects were realized in relatively recent history in the Kruger National Park, and it's something that has now been tried to be corrected because there were just too many artificial water sources, and they actually realized that this is a fantastic way to be able to naturally control the population of elephants within the park, which is to some degree a controversial topic, but it is something that if we look at how these animals would naturally have been if humans weren't a factor, or if the fences around these wild areas weren't a factor, um, the artificial water sources would not be there because they are artificial. Oh, there's some doves coming to drink. That's lovely. Um, so if we take away all the artificial pans that have been created and we just have the major river systems and seasonal pans as the rains come and go, you would have this natural movement of elephants through these wild areas. And so that leads to higher calf mortalities because of the harsh conditions and not being able to survive through all of that, which would have happened if there are no artificial sources. It's part of nature and the cycle that they go through. But what has happened because of all the artificial water sources that were created in the past, using Kruger as an example now, that meant that the survival rate for elephants was astronomically high because there was just water for all of these babies to be able to drink. And there's another element that I'll get to after that. And so what's happened now is that they are on a rotational basis of water. We do need to supply water to the animals because we've limited the area that they can move in. So that is the responsibility of the management team. However, it is also needs to be managed as to how much and where. And what happens now is that they have a rotational water, artificial water hole system or cycle where certain pans are pumped at certain times of the year and certain pans aren't, and that rotational water whole cycle has possibly, it's currently being researched as to how successful it is. But what that means is that elephants have to move more, they have to travel further to get to water sources. And what's also happened is that they've broken dams. So they have where once certain rivers were dammed up and there were these big sort of massive water sources which are artificial, those dams have been broken. An example of that is the Kaniduat Dam around Shingwetsi Camp, which is no longer there. And that was a massive artificial water source because that Shingwetsi River is an annual river. It doesn't have water all year, but that damming of it was creating water to be there all year, which shouldn't have naturally happened. And so that is one way that is helping control more naturally the elephant population within the Kruger. But what it's also doing is it's helping move the elephants more, who have a massive impact on the vegetation of the park. And so with them having to travel further, it means they are eating more evenly across the areas of the park, which is also important. So effect of artificial water sources is huge. And it also can be linked to the decline of sable and roan antelope, for example, higher up in the northern parts of the park where water was introduced where they should have never been. And particularly with roan antelope, actually, they relied on a few different things. Firstly, of course, with a lower density of predator meant a higher survival rate for that particular species. And then also grazing wise, or sorry, with their calves that were born, they relied on the very tall grass to hide their babies. And what happened, because the water sources were introduced in the northern areas, that attracted more water dependent animals to migrate north, like wildebeest and zebra. And so what then followed with wildebeest and zebra were higher lion, so more predators, but then also the bulk grazers like zebra and wildebeest, which meant the grass got very short and the roan couldn't hide their babies anymore. And so that population plummeted. So there are these effects of artificial water sources that it's like a butterfly effect, if you want to think of that. Something that can seem relatively small, but also seem helpful, can actually end up being quite detrimental. All right, well, let's head over to Victoria Falls.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our Wild Earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Well, this is a beautiful scene here at Victoria Falls with all these vultures. They would have just had something to eat at about 1 o'clock with the vulture feeding program that happens at this waterhole. And so I think that's why they've headed to the water now to do, well, have a drink, maybe do a little bit of cleaning. And there's also some marabou storks there standing. Looks to be a great egret in the background, as well as white-backed and hooded vultures that I can see here in the foreground. Wow, look at those wings open. They are really, really big, aren't they? Very, very impressive size, these marabou storks. Martin, you'd like to know, why do vultures have vulture feathers have a shaggy look to them? It's true, they do look a little bit shaggy, don't they? I must say, at the moment, I think the wind has ruffled, sort of is blowing up some of the feathers there. They can be quite neat and tidy. That one in particular is looking very shaggy. I think it needs to do some preening. Did that marabou stork just try and bite that vulture? Oh my goodness. Definitely just wanted to get to the water. um, and I think also, depending on if they've just sort of ruffled out their feathers, if they're neatening themselves up, if they're around a carcass, they look a little bit more shaggy. That one is looking, I mean, these are actually, a few of them are looking quite messy. I haven't really noticed them to be so messy before. Maybe it is just because they were preening themselves and had their feathers sort of in different positions. But they do have quite large feathers. So that could also mean that, sometimes they don't sit so perfectly together. But in terms of flight, they do need their feathers to sit really nice and tightly together to maximize efficiency. But it seems to be these white-backed vultures, the feathers sort of right on top of the wing. Maybe what's happening is that the wing has been pulled in and pushed up some of their back feathers, so it's looking shaggy. Whereas if they just stretched out their wings again and collapsed, and those feathers fell inside, then it would be nice and smooth. So, Lionel, the vulture program isn't necessarily to do with genetics, but rather to provide safe food sources for these vultures. Because the poisoning that happens with other food, potentially in the area, to try and help give them, in a greater area, I mean, not necessarily in the immediate vicinity, these vultures can travel really, really far. Oh, that marabou stork, is that a feather? Oh, my word. Don't know if you can eat that. Looks like it's probably a vulture feather, actually. It could also be a marabou stork feather. Maybe it was preening itself and a feather came out. Okay, well, this was a lovely bit of birding and some interesting interactions here between the marabou storks and the vultures. Let's head over to Naledi for an elephant having a drink. Oh, wow, not just one elephant, a whole herd here at the moment. Oh, wow, that is a tiny elephant. It's disappeared now, but that was very cute. Goodness me. And these ellies are just enjoying all the greenery. I mean, it looks to be um, something like a bush willow that they're munching away on. And the bush willows have such beautiful green leaves at the moment. Lionel, no, I don't think these elephants that we're looking at here would migrate to other countries. The border that these elephants would have access to, either Mozambique or Zimbabwe, is quite far from where Oliphant's West Game Reserve is. It is within the Greater Kruger, and in theory, they have all the freedom in the world to march a few hundred kilometers to the east and head over to Mozambique. But they probably won't do that because their home range is within this area, and there's no real reason for them to have to do that. With water and food that is available to them is enough within sort of the region that they find themselves in.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On Safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our Wild Earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
There, whether it's actually right on the back of the head or more on the ear, the greater sort of part that sticks out, the big flap of skin. Sometimes ticks love to lodge themselves there because it's nice and thin skin and they can actually reach the blood more easily. And you'll often see the very first place that an elephant throws itself with mud is behind the ears. And that's because of how thin the skin is and how quickly they feel cooler because of it. Well, as this Ellie moves off, let's head back up to Victoria Falls. Oh, lovely, a buffalo. This is great. Just seems to be one younger one that's here. I'm sure there must be others around somewhere. It's not sort of an old bull that you would expect to see on its own. And there you have it, buffalo browsing. Don't believe everything you read to say that they are grazers only. Although they definitely do mostly eat grass, that is for sure. It does just go to show that there are times where they will munch on a leaf or two. Well, how lovely to see a buffalo. I'm very interested to see if there's any others around, so we'll keep our eyes on the situation. But for now, let's head over to Rosie's pan where elephant has arrived. So this is maybe a friend of the bull that we had here earlier, much larger individual, much bigger in size, larger, thicker tusks as well. Donna, hello. What an interesting question. And in some ways, sometimes I suppose they do stumble upon a pan that didn't know was there or something like that. But I think, especially when it comes to elephants, they do remember. Absolutely. They know where the water sources are in their home range, and they can also definitely sniff it out. Water does have a smell to it, and certain animals are more accustomed to that smell than others, I suppose, depending how reliant they are on water. But even things like zebra and giraffe, I think they know and remember the areas and where their closest water sources are. And I think that is why the game trails are where they are. And most of the time out in the bush, if you follow a game trail, you'll end up at a water source. It's just how it works as it gets closer and closer to the water. So the game trails sort of all come together and land up at a waterhole. And that's because animals have remembered and have come back over and over and over again. And of course, when an animal is young, they know nothing. They have no idea. And so they learn from the older ones. So maybe younger animals will stumble upon water sources, or I mean, sometimes even older animals, there might be a pan that forms that wasn't there from one season to the next. But for the most part, the main water sources, Donna, they'll definitely remember and be able to return to it over and over and over again.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On Safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our Wild Earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
feel like this is a very slow process, but fascinating. I mean, it's not, this isn't the sort of thing that I really enjoy watching, but it, oh, why put it back in the water? You're giving it a chance. Maybe it needed a little bit more um, moisture to help. But I also think these stalks, well, the marabou stalk, that this one in particular we've seen here for a few days now, weeks possibly, and it does tend to play with its food quite a lot. Even once it previously had a catfish that was dead, it was actually stiff, and it just didn't eat it and didn't eat it. It's amazing as it dipped it into the water there, how alive it still was, which was fascinating. Could have just wanted to rinse it off from all the sort of dirt that it's been scooping it around in, but I do also think that water is dreadfully dirty, so I don't know how much that achieved. Oh, Donna, that is so wonderful to hear from you, and that you have just discovered this channel and that you're enjoying it so much. It's wonderful to always hear from new viewers, and hear that you are enjoying the show. And Live at the Waterhole is a wonderful time that we spend together, relaxing and also seeing some very unusual and interesting behaviors, because we have the time to sort of sit and observe from a camera instead of a vehicle, which has absolutely, the camera has no effect on these animals. They just continue, sometimes with the noise of the vehicle or talking or anything like that. Sometimes animals do tend to move away. We try to minimize that, but it's natural, especially with things like warthogs and antelopes and things like that. But here we get a perfect front seat to the action at waterholes across Africa. Okay, now, oh, it's going down all of a sudden. Goodness me. I think it's going to swallow it. There we go. Just like that. So there we go. No picking off anything, very much normal stalk way of eating, that it just decided now's the time. I don't think that fish was completely dead either. We were actually chatting about this when we had the penguins before, another last week sometime, about whether they eat the fish alive, and they most certainly do. And I think we said it takes about 10 to 15 minutes or so for that fish to eventually suffocate and die, because of course there's no oxygen once it's down the hatch. And Tadiwa, who's directing us, has just asked me a very interesting question about how these birds digest something like this fish when they swallow it whole like this. And she said when she swallowed a fish bone, she nearly died. So I completely understand where you're coming from. And luckily for the birds that do eat fish and swallow them whole, they don't have to worry about the bones, because by the time the bones come out, they are already in the stomach. So the way a bird's stomach works is that there are two parts to it. They've sort of got the first chamber of it, which is filled with sort of digestive juices and acid and that sort of thing. And whatever they eat sort of is steeped in those juices, really gets a lot softer and broken down. And that's sort of very similar to our stomachs. Then the second part of the stomach is the gizzard, which is what grinds up and functions as sort of the teeth of the bird, but in the stomach. And it sort of has little stones in there, and sometimes that's why we even see birds swallow stones to help with that process. And it grinds it up. It's a muscular stomach that moves and crunches up everything. And eventually, then it passes through the rest of the digestive system. So that is how they manage to swallow it whole and not have to really worry about doing any chewing. Oh, Penelope, hello. You are watching with your grade 2 class. Well, hello to Miss Penelope and her grade 2 class. And you've got, say, there's lots of converts for the holidays. The December holidays are coming up in South Africa, and I hope that many of you kids will join us. And just to note that from Wednesday to Friday is our kids' drives. So make sure that you join us for the first hour of our afternoon safaris from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock, where we focus on doing our drives with kids in mind. Well, let's head over to Stony Point for some more Dussie cuteness. You can see, I think 2 of them at least. The third one might be a little bit further in, but we've got the Dussie babies that are here, officially termed pups. Really does just have the sweetest face. And how fluffy is it as well? A lot of fur around those ears that is pushed up. Oh, there's another one. They are just, oh, there's Mom. There's Mom. Oh, and it's closed its, oh, I thought it closed its eyes. That is just too cute. Oh man, I think this is the smallest of the three babies. It just looks like it could be the littlest one. It really does. Mercedes, great question. You'd like to know why they're called dassies. So that actually goes back a little bit in South African history to the Dutch settlers that came to the Cape in the 1600s. And they saw these rock hyraxes, and the only thing that they could think of that was similar to them was a das, which is a badger in Europe, which they called a European badger. And so the name then evolved from das to dassies, and that is where the name comes from.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On Safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our wild earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Connor Bukes, you asked a question earlier regarding, as a guide, how many consecutive days does one work and how often do we get a break? So if you look at sort of the standard full-time guide, it is different for different lodges in different areas, but for most lodges in the Sabi Sands and really all round, you work a 6-week cycle. So 6 weeks on and then 2 weeks off. Some lodges have adjusted that to be 4 weeks on and 2 weeks off. Some are 3 weeks on and 1 week off, depending on how their leave cycles work. And that not only applies to guides, but also to other staff that work around the lodge. And as one sort of moves out of the lodges and permanent employment, like myself at the moment, being a freelance or independent contractor, I can really decide how many days I would like to work consecutively depending on the opportunity, and then how long I have a break, inverted commas, in between that. So Wild Earth can tell me and they need me for so many days on site, and then I say, okay, that's fine. And then I can say, okay, well then I need a 10-day break, or I want a 2-week break where I do live at the waterhole, for example, or go on leave or take time to see family. So I don't really have a strict cycle at the moment, but for the most part, guides work 6 weeks on and 2 weeks off. All right, let's go see if we can find this water bug that's apparently wallowing at Old Donyo. Well, I do love coming here also for the bird life, as well as we get into the more rainier times. And there are some giraffes still in the background. Let's see if this warthog decides to get muddy or just move off. Don't leave. Oh, good. Oh, that was a scratch. Maybe it'll come feed right here on the green grass. That'll be lovely. Lovely chance to have a look at our warthog's hoofs, though. Oh, it is walking closer to us. That's nice. Oh, looks like some baboons are also coming into the area. But let's try catch up with the warthog before it disappears. Oh, there's a second one. Lovely. A question that's often asked actually is, why do warthogs go down on their knees, like this one is doing on the left-hand side? And it's really just to get lower down. They have almost non-existent necks, and in order to get their faces a little bit lower down to the water or to whatever they're wanting to feed on, it helps sometimes to go down onto their knees. Layla, you want to know, when a warthog can't get to its burrow fast enough, how do they defend themselves? So probably the most prominent thing that they would use to do that is their tusks, if they had to face whatever was wanting to harm them. But otherwise, the other defense mechanism would just be to run, and run as fast as they can. But their tusks are definitely sharp, and something that I've seen injure a lion and leopard before, give them a good scratch on the face or puncture. Oh, we've popped down to Akakuyo now, and I can hear the European bee-eaters calling as they're flying about. And there are some elephants that are still here, which is great. Spas, you say it's wonderful to have seen Oldonyo. It was, wasn't it? It's your favorite after Stony Point.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience followed by 3 nights in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Get ready for a fantastic and new wildlife adventure. On safari is going to be your favorite way to experience the wonders of the wild. Join us every week as we wrap up the most exciting and unusual highlights from our wild earth locations, dive into virtual safaris, learn to track and sign, special features on birds, medicinal plants, and fascinating natural history. On Safari brings the wild to you.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
So that their eyes can be looking, their heads that can be facing outwards. I don't know what's on the water there. I know sometimes we see little grebes and it might be Egyptian geese, but there's also a lighter thing there. I don't know if that is actually a bird at all. I wonder if that is an adult and a baby, or a little grebe and, oh no, it's a bit close for it to be two different species maybe. I'm interested because whatever that is on the water is very white in color, and I'm just thinking of birds that would swim like that that are light in color, rather than just an egret that would be standing and not paddling on the water. Interesting. Well, we'll see if we can figure it out, but in the meantime, let's head over to Naledi. Ah, well, the day wouldn't be complete without a full-on pool party. Well, after that pool party, this elephant came for a bit of a rub against the trough. You can actually see how many elephants have rubbed against it. It is caked full of mud. Donna, that really depends. So, on so many different factors, they can travel 5 kilometers or they can travel 100 kilometers. It is all about where the water is as well as the food. So, in summertime, they travel far less in this sort of area where now there's plenty of water and plenty of food available. In the winter times, it's what I was talking about right in the beginning of the show with the artificial water sources and forcing animals like elephants to have to move further for water in order to help control the population. And so in wintertime, they do have to travel many more kilometers in certain areas than in summertime. Nara, it has been another great show. It really has flown by. I feel like I say that every time, but today really went quickly. We hopped around all over the show. We had some wonderful chats as well. So thank you so much to everyone for sending through your comments and questions to me. And it's also great to know there were some new viewers who had joined us, as well as some kids in class as well. So thank you to everyone who shares the show with their nearest and dearest, and as well as maybe work circles as well. We love to know that Wild Earth is connecting so many people with nature. Now, Live at the Waterhole will be back again tomorrow, everyone. The same time, same place, 12:30 to 2:30 Central African time. We do not have a live safari this afternoon, but you can catch, I think there will be a repeat playing that you can tune into on the various channels wherever you watch. But we will be live once again tomorrow for all members and explorers. And so I do wish you all a lovely day or evening ahead, depending where you are in the world. And I hope that I'll be able to chat to you all again tomorrow. So from myself and the team, it's goodbye for now.